Good morning, it's Monday. You probably knew that. I'm joined by a cat. She's right here. It's dark out. Day, 2 of rain? Out of 5? Things are going to grow like crazy, though, if it's this off again, on again stuff we had yesterday. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Monday, June 29th. That's right, we're almost through halfway through 2020. Not through, halfway through. My name's Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. Good morning, Stacy. Well, that was quite the weekend. Had a good day of work on Friday. And what was Saturday? Did a bunch of work around the house. And I relaxed. And yesterday, got together with family for my parents' 40th birthday anniversary. So that was really nice. And went to the gym both days. And yeah, just worked and worked out and got outside and walked and spent time with family. It was just a nice day, nice weekend. And today is, now I've mentioned this client that's going virtual. This is one of my non-martial arts school clients, and they've got to be out by the end of the month. So I'll be there, I don't know what, probably cleaning or something. They said, please come help. So I'm going to go help. It's almost done. It's almost done. There's the garbage truck coming. And then probably more tomorrow. And then that's it. And then my Mondays and Fridays are, I don't want to say my own again, because there's still work I'll be doing, but I want it to be at a certain spot, which I will miss, because it got me out of the house. What am I going to do? Where am I going to work from? I need to buy an office building. No, I don't. That's the last thing I want to do. Commercial property now? Ew. Residential property. Maybe I'll put a desk in the... Yeah, it's kind of gross up there. Not gross, but hot. I was thinking about maybe putting a desk in the warehouse space. It would keep me from getting distracted. Except for the fact that it's chaos. And I'd have to spend a day cleaning and organizing it so my brain would settle enough to do work. But I don't really feel like having 2 offices. It's a pain. Right? There's no perfect answer. There isn't. Why not work outside? Could. I could. And you know, I probably will. One of the things on the agenda today, I popped into Christmas tree shops on Friday. I didn't have room in the car, but I had a feeling they had some cheap patio sets, and they did. They had some stuff for $200. So I'm going to grab one of those today and set that up on the back deck. That was supposed to be a Friday thing. That was supposed to be a last week thing, because then I was going to do the show live. And hopefully they still have some left, and hopefully I'm not sent with a bunch of stuff in my car. And as long as those things are true, I will get one. Stacy says, because November. Yeah, I can't work outside year-round. But I could work outside sometime. Can you hear that? It's the garbage truck struggling with my trash can. It wasn't that heavy. I moved it. Sounds like the hydraulic lift is having a Monday. But anyways, we'll figure it out. I'll get another place to work. I've got a couple clients that have some office space, and maybe I'll get one of them to let me hang out there. Because I need the variety. You know, the idea of sitting at that one desk all the time at my house. Good morning, Jordan. Nice of you to join us. And then what else is going on today? Who knows? I got some errands. Oh, you know what I started working on? It was kind of fun. That I'll share with you. When my father moved to Ireland, I have two families. Anyway, when my father moved to Ireland, he gave me. Oh, cool, Jordan. Let me know if I can help. Jordan says he's getting ready to move north and find a new school. Let me know if I can help. I might be able to make a connection. I ended up with my grandfather's machinist chest, which is this big metal thing. Looks like a small toolbox, but it weighs like 1,000,000 pounds. It's so heavy. And it was rusty and everything. And I asked my father, I said, what was my grandfather's favorite color? Because I didn't really know him. And he said red. So I started painting it this weekend. A lot of work, a lot of taping, a lot of spray painting. I didn't put down a big enough drop cloth, so part of my garage floor is now red. Oh well, it's a garage floor. Yeah, so that was a fun project, not something that I work on often. Training today. Uh, Nobody that I train with has classes open yet. Our restrictions in Vermont are stringent enough that while some places are open, those are not the schools I attend. My Taekwondo school is closed still. Um, of course, my Superfoot stuff requires me traveling out of state. Jordan says, we just reopened, no physical contact though. Yeah, there's a lot of that going around. Um, you know what I figured out yesterday that I want to do? I'm going to have a, we'll probably release it as an episode, but I think we'll do it as a live, like a Zoom call sort of thing. I'm starting to see some states say that they're going to re-implement certain restrictions. And I want school owners to be prepared if we end up where we were before. Oh, in Holland is from 1st of July. Okay, well, you're almost there. I want school owners to be prepared. There were some school owners who did a really good job with the move to online and to Zoom, and some did not. So I figured, let's get a few people on, let's have a live call, let's answer some questions, and let's put that together. That's probably going to happen, I don't know when. I want to do it soon. Full contact. It might be this week, but probably not, because I don't think I have time to get that together. Next week is Whistlekick Live, and so we'll have to see. Maybe next Thursday. That's kind of what I'm targeting. Could also be next Wednesday. I don't know. We got options. I'm going to take a look. But I do want to do it because I think that there's a lot of information. If I can get the right people together, I can speak to it from a marketing, consulting kind of business end, but I certainly didn't implement any of it. So, Jordan, if you follow us on Facebook, you will get the event. You will see the event in your Facebook feed because that's where we put that kind of stuff. Our emails, our email newsletters are usually done enough ahead of time that we don't do event stuff like that in there, mostly because we don't do very many events. But we'll see. All right, now, some of you wrote in some questions for me to respond to, and let's, I get the hiccups. Let's look at that. We got stuff this morning from Frank and Gabe, so shout out and thank you to you both. Let's start with Frank's stuff, and then I'm going to make an adjustment to what Gabe's asking here. Being natural is the ultimate secret of our art. Toshitsugu Takamatsu. It's interesting because I was just thinking about this weekend. This idea of, is martial arts movement meant to be based around natural movement, natural instincts? And I don't know that the answer is yes. But the answer isn't no. And here's the best example I have. If you've done any of Tony Blauer's spear stuff, and I suspect some other people teach this, but he was the first one I knew that taught it. The idea of flinch response. When people get scared, what do? They bring their hands up, right? So in Tony's philosophy, because this is an innate thing that we do as people, let's work with it instead of trying to work against it. If we think about the rest of martial arts, stances, kicks, punches, blocks, do they mimic natural movement or do they mimic unnatural movement? Sometimes it's one, sometimes it's the other. Should there be an importance placed on natural movement? Should we be looking for the most natural way to throw a kick or a stance? I don't know. I think there's value in the exploration of that. I think some styles are closer to natural movement than others. But I'm not quite ready to say I have an opinion. I have a very slight leaning towards saying yes. But I don't know how to reconcile that with the fact that the majority of what we do in martial arts really isn't natural. Pivoting? Show me someone outside of martial arts or sports that isn't pivoting, or that is pivoting. You know, the idea of pivoting and throwing a kick, that's not really a natural thing to do. Fighting sideways, that's not really a natural thing to do. So I don't know. But the timing of this is really interesting. This is something I'm going to continue to think on. And maybe it'll become a Thursday topic. Maybe if I get enough to say, it'll be a Thursday topic. I've got kind of a heavy Thursday topic coming this week. Be ready for that. Hopefully I got it right. If I didn't get it right, I'm going to catch a lot of hate. Always interesting to see. Mistakes are always forgivable if one has the courage to admit them. Bruce Lee. One of the things that has gotten a lot easier. Oh, Jordan, depends on the practitioner. When you say that's definitely one I'm going to think on the rest of the day. Yeah. There's try to get people thinking. As I've gotten older, it's gotten easier for me to admit my mistakes. To just say, you know what? Sometimes I screw up. Sometimes I mean to do the right thing and I do it the wrong way. Sometimes I misunderstand something. Okay, I'm not perfect. But our culture dictates that we be perfect. And our culture... Oh, I gotta sneeze. Maybe not. No. I sneezed, I yawned. Oh, I'm all over the place. Our culture dictates that we be perfect, and none of us are. So it's ridiculous. And we have these ideas that because we think everybody else is perfect and we're not perfect, that we must have something wrong with us. Obviously not true. Now, I used to make a big deal out of apologizing. You know, I really did. And what I learned is that everyone apologizes. Not everyone means it. So now I take a really hard look. Does it make sense for me to apologize in this circumstance? Or am I better off just making sure I do it right the next time? And I do a lot more of that now. Do I mess up? Yeah. Do I make a big deal out of it? Try not to. But there are times when it's warranted. For example, there was a group call that I was supposed to be part of, and I misread the calendar invite because there were several of them coming, and the names were very similar and all the same group of people, and I misunderstood. and I thought I was unavailable at a time when I was available. And once I discovered it, because there had been some back and forth, and of course finding schedules that line up are really tough. And I went to one of the people running the meeting and I said, hey, I misread this. I'm sorry. I am available at that time. And if you would like me to publicly apologize to the group, I will do so. Not a big deal, but if I'm going to mess up, I'm going to own it. I'm going to let people know, yeah, I screwed up. I dropped the ball on that. I'm not going to beg forgiveness, but I'll be public about it. Because if you're not open when you mess up, if you're not public when you mess up, people aren't going to trust you in the same way. Right? I can't guarantee that I'm perfect. I can't guarantee that I get it right every time, but I can guarantee that I will be honest. Casper's saying, if you're perfect now, you're not perfect in the future. It's not black or white, it's fluid. I think that's what you're trying to say. Some pretty good phonetic English you're doing there, my friend. Martial arts is not about fighting. It's about building character. Robert Foster Bennett. Hey, that's almost the same quote as what I've said. I don't know who Robert Foster Bennett is, but we should be friends if he's still alive, because I think the same thing. The quote that I say, which one? Martial arts is not about combat. It's about personal development. I've got a bunch of quotes. I say different things all the time. I wish people would just get it. We were having a discussion yesterday with the family. My brother-in-law, I don't think he has any martial arts training, but he's a gun enthusiast. He shoots. And he was at a training, or he was watching videos. A friend had gone to a training with a guy, and they were running through scenarios, and he was telling me about these videos and some of these things. And a lot of what he was saying reminds me. Oh, this gentleman is a former senator from Utah. Oh, is he around? Let's get him on the show. Sounds like an interesting person. Some of the scenarios that were happening at this shooting class. Goodbye, Jordan. Thank you for joining us. There was a lot of overlap in what was happening in this class with what I see happening in some of the reality-based self-defense sort of stuff community. And I think they're missing the point. It's argument over nuance to the point of being ineffective, and an obsession with unrealistic, improbable scenarios to the detriment of training for the things that are most likely to happen. What if I came to you and I said, hey, I've got this thing I can teach you. Take you 2 or 3 hours a week. It'll make your body and mind healthier. It'll help you in all facets of life. You'll meet new people. You'll get better body awareness. You'll get stronger. You'll get faster. You'll be more disciplined, more aware. And it'll help protect you from danger. Oh, he died in 2016. What if I came to you and I said I had something that was all of those things? That's traditional martial arts. But how does that compare to purely self-defense? You take out everything but the last part, the help protect you from danger. Maybe it'll make you stronger. Maybe it'll get you some of those other things depending on how it's taught. Not everyone, but I think many of the people involved in that space have demons that they don't want to face. Their ego is damaged. They have little self-esteem. And instead of tearing down the walls they have and working on themselves, they decide to go the opposite direction and build up bigger, thicker walls and hide behind them. And it's a shame. Because even if you're in a pretty violent place, you're going to get into fights, what, once in a while? Let's not even put a number on it. But you're going to live every day. You're going to be in your body every day. You're going to have to make decisions and be aware, and all those other benefits of martial arts would be available to you every day versus just the fighting part. It's a shame. One of the scenarios that my friend was talking about was the scenario of having to shoot through a car door from the outside. Now, as an intellectual exercise, I totally get that. But the statistical likelihood that you need to learn how to shoot through a car door at a person, unless you are a military, unless you're in the military, there we go, is so slim as to be laughable. And I think you would be better off working on nearly any other skill. I think you're more likely to need to learn how to I think you'd be, I don't know, I'm just, anyway, let's move on. So I'm gonna respect Gabe's question and read it as is. I am not going to answer it as is. Okay. Preface. Here's why. I refuse to step into politics, and I refuse to bring whistlekick into politics. I do not feel that businesses should be political. I think that there are some exceptions to that rule. Whistlekick is not one of them. It has nothing to do with us making money or not making money. It has everything to do with the stated goal of whistlekick around building unity and growing the martial arts. And the moment that we become political in any way, it breaks that. That does not mean I don't have political beliefs. It does not mean that I do not work quietly towards the things that I believe in. That's all I'm going to say. So here's this question. I'm sorry if this is too political, but I saw an opinion article entitled, "To think martial arts training could fix police brutality is short-sighted," written by someone with martial art and law enforcement experience. Do you think martial arts training would benefit our law enforcement? So if we take just that last bit, just the question part, do you think martial arts training would benefit our law enforcement? I'm going to flip the question. Is there a way that it couldn't benefit law enforcement? Now, I've always said, I believe everyone would benefit, I've always said, I believe everyone would benefit from martial arts training. So is there a scenario where law enforcement would not be better off? No. Now, when I say martial arts training, I mean traditional martial arts that requires the culture and real training. I don't mean a 6-week program on how to grapple and apply self-defense techniques. I mean actually stepping in, putting on a white belt, and moving up through the ranks. That is what I mean. And do I believe that would help? Yes, undoubtedly. Let's take a non-specific example of police brutality. Let's say um, unnecessary force to control a situation. Okay, I'm not going to be more specific than that. Under what circumstances does someone use unnecessary force? Well, we can talk about that from within traditional arts, because if you've been training a little while, you've probably worked with someone who has applied unnecessary force. Why do they do that? Adrenaline? Fear? Ego? Is there another one? Those are the only 3 things coming to mind. Now, does traditional martial arts not help with those? Traditional arts in combat-related scenarios help you experience your adrenaline so you can be a little more controlling over your body during its effects. Okay? So that would help. Fear, same thing. Ego, definitely same thing. So yes, I think it would. Now, where might it not? If we just throw people into skills. Here's how you apply this movement. Here's how you apply this movement. Here's how you apply this movement. And it doesn't have any traditional personal growth sort of aspects. I don't think that would be good. When I talk about martial arts, when I use the term martial arts, I mean traditional martial arts. And when I say traditional martial arts, I mean martial arts trained in a way where personal growth occurs, where it is not an afterthought, but it is part of the structure of the program. Now, I tend to envision that as a traditional karate or taekwondo or kung fu class, because that's what I'm familiar with. There are absolutely traditional martial arts classes that do away with formality and things like that, and may or may not be less conducive to personal growth. I can't speak to those. There are also European martial arts and Southeast Asian martial arts and capoeira and martial arts from all over the place that do, and I suspect also do not, create the same environment where personal growth will occur. So. I hope that was an answer to the question without being too dodgy. Because again, and as a reminder, why am I not bringing whistlekick into politics? Because it's too divisive. The moment you step into any issue today, half the world loves you and the other half hates you, and it's gross, and I hate it, and I refuse to play that game. It is unfortunate. And it means I have to be really careful with what I say and how I say and who I talk to about certain things, and that makes me sad. So, all right. 30 minutes. I think it's only the second time we've done this. I'm going to go. Leave me questions and comments for tomorrow. I will respond. I love when you all do that. Shout out to Gabe and Frank. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate that. Subscribe, turn on notifications. We do the show every weekday, 6 a.m. Eastern here on YouTube. Catch it later as a podcast. And if you want to support the work that we do at Whistlekick. Oh, it's Monday. What podcast is out? What's out today? Hey, Jeremy. Remember, it's Monday. Mr. John Hurwitz. If you don't know that name, go look up that name, and you will know why I was super pumped to talk to Mr. Hurwitz. Or just go check out the episode. It's here on YouTube. It's in your podcast feed. It's all over the place. If you want to support the work that we do, go to whistlekick.com, make a purchase. Use the code FIRSTCUP15. There's still some stuff on Amazon being sold at or below our cost. It's crazy. We're just trying to purge everything and start over with physical products there. Or you can support the Patreon, patreon.com/whistlekick. $2 and up gets you additional content. So check that out. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your questions. I will see you back here tomorrow. Take care. Peace.